Frank, I got one question here. How far is this group willing to go on the debt ceiling? How far are they willing to go on the Ryan budget? For example, are they willing to shut down the government because the House has the power to stop these things? How far are they willing to go on those two issues specifically?
How far are you willing to go?
Hey, when it comes right down to it, Frank, when it comes right down to it, I think we have to pay for our fiscal sins instead of our kids and grandkids. And that's how far I'm willing to go.
To make a difference.
How far are you willing to go?
There's a difference in a government shutdown between not passing a CR and reaching the statutory limit on debt. And we still have to be honest with the American people as to what a government shutdown actually looks like under a debt ceiling issue.
Well, Sean, the thing I will tell you is that one of the things none of the agencies tell us is about what assets can be liquidated. They only want us to see the liability sheet. There are a lot of assets out there that we don't need, that we own and have to pay a lot to maintain.
I want to see some real structural change, a change that will ensure the American people that we're not going to keep going down this road. As Trey has said, we can't keep on doing this. So some real structural change.
I'm going to give you the best compliment that I can. You're probably the most serious member of the 87, which will get me into trouble. I ask you as a serious man, is this Congress serious about change? And are they prepared to go to the limit to make it happen?
I think that what we have been able to do, and since we got here, is forcing this Congress to be serious about change. I think that what you saw last week with a lot of the demagogic, emotional rhetoric is that we are challenging people, and you saw a lot of intellectual dishonesty out there and lack of integrity. So I think that if there is an opportunity for us to get the fiscal ship of state of the United States of America back on track, if there's an opportunity to secure the future and the legacy of this republic, these 87 members that you sent up here to Washington, D.C. are going to be the vanguard which will make it happen.
What have they said about you back in your district because of how you voted?
Well, the thing is, I explained to them that you know, the stopgap measure, I definitely want to make sure that my brothers and sisters in arms did not have to worry about continuing to be paid. But when I come around to the real decision, which will be this week, I think that, as an airborne sergeant once told me, if you set the bar low, you're going to jump low. We got to set the bar high.
Sean, I was asking them in the break about what's happening back in their districts, and the accusations from the left against them have been absolutely horrific. It would really frighten you if you knew what they were claiming about these people.
Well, we heard it all last week. I mean, they want to kill women. They want to stop women from getting cancer screenings and mammograms. They want old people not to get their meals. I think the American people have seen this playbook before. But I don't want to beat a dead horse here, and I would, with respect, what does it mean when the debt ceiling vote comes up? If somebody wants to explain this, and what does it mean if they do not vote to raise it? What does it mean if they have to shut the government down? What would that mean in terms of what happens to the country?
Go ahead.
I think it's important to realize the debt ceiling is not the cause, it's the symptom. So let's find what the cause is and really get at it. This is an opportunity.
But we have to be willing to go there. I mean, it is all about this debt ceiling and whether or not we're going to allow the president to borrow more money. And, you know, without the proper budget restrictions, without a balanced budget amendment, without the cuts that are necessary, we're going to say no.
And remember, it's not a complete shutdown. 60% of the money will still be coming in. It just means that 40 cents on every dollar that we're borrowing, we won't be able to borrow anymore. So the government won't be a complete shutdown.
I think how serious we are about making real reform is in Barack Obama's flip-flop this week about his new budget proposals, his State of the Union 2.0.
Frank, you agree?
Americans are used to setting our own course, but we're on a course where at some point, we will not have the option of raising our debt limit. Our lenders will tell us we're done.
I think this debt ceiling vote really comes down, are we going to be fiscally responsible? And are we willing to accept the fact that this is a challenge? There is pain that's going to come for this country. And are we willing to accept that pain now, or we want to push it off to our children and grandchildren?
Well, and I would challenge that. Pain not for the country, pain for the government. The government needs to pull back. The government is the one that's going to feel some pain. The budgets that we're talking about this next week, we're going to be, through attrition, cutting 10% of the workforce. I don't know if your viewers know this, Sean, but about 10%, we grew by 10% in the last 2 years alone under Obama's budget. We have a radical shift to do, and we're going to keep fighting. The debt ceiling is one part of that.
I think, Frank, you know, the American people know that Washington is broken. It's been broken under Democrats. It's been broken under Republicans. And I think this class of '87 understand that. we know that it's going to take not a swerve in the road. We've got to do a U-turn regarding our fiscal discipline that we have not seen here. And that means drill down to the departments. Government is out of touch with the American people.
Would you close a department?
Would I close a
Yes.
department? I'm not against closing a department.
If housing and urban development were put up for a vote, who would close HUD? Raise your hands.
I think we got
None of you?
pieces of every department.
How about the Department of Commerce? Who would close the Department of Commerce?
Consolidate Commerce, Interior, and Agriculture.
Smart ways to do this.
When you have agencies duplicating each other and you've got all this other stuff, and what we're trying to do is get into these agencies, look in their base budgets, look to see what is duplicative, what's not, what's our core mission. We really have to look at
Last
this.
comment.
I think the thing I would tell you is that we're very serious about making sure that our children enjoy the same economic opportunities that we had as Americans, the individual liberties, the personal freedoms that set us apart from every other country. That's what the 87 members of this freshman class are going to protect.
You've got 19 members here, Sean, all of them very serious people, prepared to do whatever it takes to make a difference in the country. Now, the question is whether or not they're going to get the credit for it, whether or not they're going to get the opportunity for it, and whether or not the White House is going to participate with them in this effort to do it. Only time will tell.